Chris. Thanks for meeting with us.
Good morning, Pat. Nice to see you again. Please sit down.
Did you receive the agenda I emailed to you a couple of days ago?
Yes, I did. Thanks. I read it and reviewed the areas you wanted to talk about.
Great. I know you're busy, so I'll keep this short and aim for 20 minutes. Would you be available later in the week if we need to come back to you on anything?
I'm sure we can work something out. Check with my assistant, Ron. He keeps track of my schedule. Actually, I'm glad you're here, Pat. Your email made me take a good hard look at the internal controls at Alchemy Inc., and I'm happy to report that I was pleased with what I saw. I knew we were strong, but the materials my team pulled together reminded me of that strength. I think you'll agree.
Can't wait to see them, thanks. Do you mind if I probe a little more deeply into some of the critical areas?
Not at all. That's why we're here.
Chris, given your recent focus on 404 readiness, I bet you've been thinking about tone at the top. Tell me about the tone at the top here at Alchemy Inc.
Glad to. Thanks to the attitudes of our executive management team, we've avoided many of the issues plaguing other companies. Take transparency. Of course, accurate and complete disclosure is necessary for investors to make sound decisions, but we also believe in transparency closer to home. We think a transparent organization creates a stronger corporate culture, and that creates an employee who knows what's going on and is invested in and committed to the company. As CEO, they know I'm committed to this, and that helps.
How do you communicate your commitment to your employees?
Well, we send out a monthly newsletter called Transformations to share news about the company. Things like our standing in the market, updates on production, benefit news, that sort of thing.
May I have a copy?
Sure. I'll have my assistant Ron send you a couple of issues.
How's the newsletter distributed? And how well do you think it serves its purpose?
My assistant is in charge of distributing the newsletter in hard copy and via email. I think it works very well. For example, we encourage feedback. The email version of the newsletter includes an Ask Me Anything button. So if anyone has any questions or concerns, they can just hit the button and send me a note. Ron scans all incoming emails and lets me know what we need to address. It's really all part of our open door policy. In my very first company-wide meeting, I told the staff that my door is always open for them. I wanted to make sure that employees had a way to circumvent the chain of command. The afternoon of every fourth Friday is set aside for employee meetings and conversations.
That sounds good. Do you have any other ways of gathering feedback beyond the Ask the CEO button in your open door policy? I believe you have a formal whistleblower program, don't you?
Sure we do. All employees are encouraged to seek guidance on complicated ethical issues or report any suspected violations through the ethics hotline. They can call a confidential phone number or use an email address. It's all set out in our code of conduct, which every employee receives when they join the company.
We'd love a copy of your code of conduct.
No problem. I'll get you one this afternoon.
That would be great. Thanks, Chris. What happens if somebody does blow a whistle? What kind of process is set up for dealing and resolving any report of unethical or illegal behavior?
We do have a process all set up. I'll send you along a flow chart showing how it works. We have added a step to the chart this year. Our audit committee monitors all the activities of the ethics hotline and follows up as needed.
And can you remind me about the composition of that audit committee?
The audit committee has 6 members. 2 of them are financial experts, and none of them serve on the audit committees of any other public company. What else can I tell you? They meet quarterly and sign your engagement letter. It's all in the audit committee policy that we provided in the packet we gave you.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Can you describe the key aspects of your risk assessment process?
Well, first of all, internal audit performs an annual risk assessment. This involves an internal audit meeting with executive management to explore fraud risks. We also have a monthly meeting of executive management to discuss key business risks.
How are your audit committee and board involved in the risk assessment process?
We report risks to the audit committee, which they review to ensure that they are comfortable with the way we are dealing with the risks. The board supports the process and helps to push the right message down through the organization.
So the internal controls are in place at Alchemy Inc. Do you think they're working well?
Absolutely. I think we've done an outstanding job of understanding COSO and developing the documentation to support Sarbanes-Oxley efforts. You've seen for yourself in our 10 Qs. We've had no exceptions. Things are clean. In fact, I've received many favorable reports from internal audit about the company's controls. So I do feel very comfortable that all the due diligence was done and that the right people have been involved. We do have those 3 weaknesses that have already been identified to you and are in our documentation. But we can talk about that later. I review all the outputs personally to ensure quality. We have been working on this for months, and I feel good about it. So yes, we have a good handle on everything.